Live albums, they could be pretty tricky. Most of the time, they seem to just be a souvenir of the concert you went to. Other times, they seem to just be too similar to the songs that are on the record, but maybe played a little bit faster. So what makes a really good live album? This is the Kazdoy Closet. I'm Kazdoy. My closet's still in there, under construction, but filled with all the stuff that I love, books, movies, music. And today I'm going to talk about my pick for the top 5 best live albums that stay true to the spirit of the original songs, but most importantly, enhance and expand them for an entirely new listening experience. We're going to start with number 5 and work our way up to number 1. My number 5 pick is a little bit of a cheat because I have the DVD and not the CD version, but it is Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band at Hammersmith Odeon in London, 1975. Now I have this as part of the Born to Run 30th anniversary box, which came out in 2005, but you can get this as a CD also. Bruce and his band arrived in London in 1975 as the next big thing, and they didn't know what to expect. They didn't know how they were going to be received. They were totally out of their element. They had never been there before, and it turns out that it became a legendary performance. Interestingly, it was recorded and filmed, of course, and then put away for 30 years. They didn't even look at it. And then for this box set that I'll show you in a minute, Bruce revisited the footage and decided to release it. It includes 6 songs from Born to Run, and then the rest are from his first 2 albums. And what makes this great is that, as always, Bruce and his band are a great live band. They give the songs an entirely new interpretation. They bring a lot of energy to it. And every show is just fantastic. That's why he's known as such a great live performer. So in this box, you have, this is what it looks like. This is the Born to Run 30th anniversary. And basically it has the DVD of the concert, and it's got the CD of Born to Run, and then it has a documentary on the making of Born to Run, and then like a little booklet. My number 4 pick for best live album is The Who, Live at Leeds. This is the 2 CD deluxe edition. It was recorded at Leeds University in 1970. The original album had 6 tracks on it. This one has 13 on 1 CD, and then they performed Tommy in its entirety on the 2nd CD, and Pete Townsend at that point liked to introduce Tommy as Thomas, which I always thought was kind of funny. The songs range from their original songs to covers like Young Man Blues, the Mose Allison song, and Summertime Blues, the Eddie Cochran song. And they really, what makes this a great live album is they really change a lot of the songs. For example, their classic My Generation, which was 3 minutes, the original, is 15 minutes on this one. And Magic Bus, which was probably about 3 minutes original also, is about 7 minutes here. So they really enhance the material and riff on it in a fresh way. Tommy, the live version, is interesting to hear. It's pretty ragged, it's pretty loose. Personally, I prefer the studio version, the slicker version of it, actually. But John Entwistle on bass, amazing. He plays his bass basically like a lead guitar. Keith Moon is playing the drums basically like a lead instrument. Roger Daltrey, one of the greatest rock vocalists ever. Pete Townsend is playing the lead guitar, jumping around, doing those windmill moves on the guitar. And so this is just a great LP. Inside this deluxe version, it's just, it's a booklet, and it's basically the 2 CDs inside there. But you can get the 1 CD version as well. My number 3 pick for best live album is Van Morrison, It's Too Late to Stop Now. This is a 2 CD set. It was recorded in 1973 in 3 different venues in Los Angeles and in London. He features a horn section, which he usually does, but for this, he also included a string section called the Caledonia Soul Orchestra, and they really add a lot to it. So there are several songs on this that range from many of his albums, from Astral Weeks, his first real solo album, all the way through to St. Dominic's Preview. He includes a couple of songs with his first group, Them, including Here Comes the Night and Gloria. He even has some cover songs by people like Sam Cooke and Ray Charles. What makes this a great live album is he really reinterprets each of these songs, either vocally or with the musical arrangements. There was a follow-up a few years ago, which includes these concerts, but performances that were not on the original one, and a very similar looking cover, but this is volumes 2, 3, and 4, and it also includes a DVD of him performing live. My number 2 pick for Best Live Album is The Band, and that is Live at the Academy of Music in 1971, the Rock of Ages concert recorded in New York. Songs were taken from the band's first 4 albums, and they threw in a couple of cover songs also. The horn section was included, and it was arranged by Alan Toussaint, and some of the players in the horn section also played with such jazz legends as Count Basie, Miles Davis, and the unfortunately recently departed Chick Corea. But the band and all these guys are virtuoso musicians. They're in their peak form. They have 3 great lead singers, and these are 4 nights of concerts, including a New Year's Eve concert in which they somehow coaxed Bob Dylan to come in and perform, I think, about 4 songs with them. What's great about this set is that 2 of the CDs are called the soundboard mix, and the clarity and the sound on these is just amazing. And now, if you've heard the original Rock of Ages CD, I always thought that was pretty muddy, and I'm no sound expert, but it's never sounded right to me. But these are just amazing. It's like a You Are There quality to it. In this particular one, you have 4 CDs and then 1 DVD of them performing in concert. And some of the songs are repeated a little bit, but they're all just great. They range from rockers to ballads to strange story songs of mythological content. You can also get this in just a regular 2 CD version. This 5 disc set might be a little tough to come by. And my number 1 pick for Best Live Album is the Allman Brothers Band, the Fillmore East concerts in 1971. This is the big giant 6 CD set. It includes all 4 sets in March 1971 at the Fillmore East, plus another set in June of that year, and they were the closing act for the final performance of anything at the Fillmore East venue. The Allman Brothers combined so many different types of music, jazz, rock, blues, country, into their own original sound, almost creating their own genre of music. And if you think it's just like Southern rock or something, it's not. It's much more than that. And they were also a pretty interracial band as well. This is their 3rd album. This is them at their peak. They were performing all over the place. They're one of the greatest live bands ever. They performed, I think, about 300 shows a year. And they're also one of Bill Graham's favorite bands, he of course being the owner of the Fillmore East, the Fillmore West, and he personally chose them to close out the Fillmore East venue. The main power here comes from the lead guitars of Duane Allman and Dickie Betts, and they were both very competitive with each other and really pushed each other, which resulted in some great solo work by both guitarists. Tragically, October the same year, Duane Allman died in a motorcycle crash. Some of these concerts on this one that were not released before include a saxophone player in the band and a harmonica player in the band. The songs ranged all over the place. They really changed the material around. By the way, I think their live albums are much better than their studio albums. But some of these songs range from 3.5 minutes, and one is even 35 minutes, Mountain Jam. Some are completely instrumental, some are mostly instrumental, some are just straight out rockers for 4 or 5 minutes. You can also get this as a single, the original single CD or a double CD. And they put out a lot of live albums. I think the most recent one a few years ago was called the Fox Box, and that was their most recent lineup. Of course, they're no longer around, but they had twin lead guitars of Derek Trucks and Warren Haynes, and that's a really good one too. It's 3 different sets called the Fox Box, filmed at the Fox Theater. As a side note, there's also a set from their 5th album called Brothers and Sisters, and this is from 1973, and of course Duane Allman had already passed away, but Dickie Betts was still playing lead guitar for the band, and instead of trying to quote-unquote replace Duane Allman, who was irreplaceable, they decided to have Chuck Leavell be, as a keyboard player, be like the second lead instrument. So it's very interesting to hear the live CDs on here, to have twin solos with a guitarist and a keyboard player. And this is a 4 CD set, and it includes the original album, Brothers and Sisters, and it includes some outtakes on the second disc, and then discs 3 and 4 is Live at Winterland, where you get to hear the lead guitar doing battle with the lead keyboardist. So those are my picks for the best 5 live albums ever, at least the ones that I own. And I did leave out a few bands because I think they're each going to get their own separate episode. As I said, you can purchase most of these. You can stream, I think, all of these, even the extra material. Usually you can find on a streaming service. Feel free to leave a comment, maybe something I left out. I'm sure I did. Feel free to leave a thumbs up. Don't leave a thumbs down. Subscribe would be great. Share this episode with your family and friends. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this. I thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.